Hello, you're watching Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program with me, Sunam Pim. Our top stories this week. His Majesty the King granted citizenship Kidu to 42 families at the Tashichezong on Monday. Favoritism is the key issue in the human resource management processes in the civil service today. And the youth unemployment rate has increased to 10.7% in 2015 from 9.4% in 2014. His Majesty the King granted citizenship Kidu to 42 families at the Tashichezong on 23rd of this month. The recipients declared an oath of allegiance to the King and country as Bhutanese citizens.
As with all Kidu appeals, individuals seeking citizenship Kidu submit their appeals to His Majesty through the Gebizimpis office, which also receives applications through Dzongkhag officers in 20 Dzongkhags.
Zasam mami langachi ta jangkha biwachin chuchi de chi langachi garalu de mitsina ding ngotila kina beodle zamni nange ni no chembu de rangila ba hedu zumbera de chonna juila de masimu langachi adarim buchi ga jejini top de lani bebe nadu na mete do zumbera soisi shuni binla de dalipa biru ngachi gekhabda zawsumlo chachi ganda ju shuni binla
명아다르 모체기 투기자와 염충화좀 진로데 투기자와 디즈메지 미퉁고 남민들로 나라 한들레 세모미 이해가서 신내라 나라 한들레 베서처레 나라기 미세디날로 데 자와 숨다 명아다르 모체기 우치기데 약합디날로 가테 타타 가테 베수 쩌스스테 조도 미세처레 자겐디 타탐시텐디 데 약합디날로 데 차슈네기 까진가서 남스메
타톨레 구중디 데 나치로 샵기 명아다르 모체기 미치나 베테 다님 사도숨베 야실라다.
His Majesty the King personally grants an audience to every recipient of the citizenship Kidu. During royal tours across the country, His Majesty had said granting citizenship Kidu and resolving census issues of the people continues to be a priority for His Majesty. Over 9,000 people from across the country have received citizenship Kidu from His Majesty the King. Sringamar Galton, BBS News.
Wild boars continue to create havoc to farmers of Phobjika Valley in Wangdefoda. Wild boars cause maximum damages to their potatoes. Until now, to preserve the black-necked cranes, people have not permitted to install electric fencing.
This potato field in Phobjika was attacked recently by the wild boars. Wild boars managed to trespass the weak wooden fencing and damaged almost 80% of the potatoes in the field. But this is not the first case. Wild boars have been a nuisance to the farmers for a very long time. Last year also, the wild boars caused severe damages to the potatoes in the village.
Wild boars sometimes damage 50 to 60% of our potatoes in the fields. At this time of the year, even if we cultivate again, it is of no use as it is already late now. Once the plant starts growing and fruits under the soil are grown, we cannot do anything.
We are poor farmers and we do not have any other alternatives. We have taken loans and worked hard to cultivate potatoes. But wild boars damage our crops. Over the years, wild boar attack has become rampant.
We have planned a pilot project in Kante and Phobjika Gyeogs, but we need no objection letters from some concerned agencies before we start the project. If they can give us permission stating that the electric fencing has no effects on the black-necked cranes, we can instantly carry out pilot project in these areas.
Over 837 acres of land in Phobjika is under potato cultivation. Close to 470 households cultivate potato as their main cash crop in the Gyeogbuk. Compiled for Komal Kharka in Wangdifodang, Sringzam, BBS News.
Bhutan Development Bank Limited Gyeogbuk Field Office of Sakting in Tashikang was robbed of around 500,000 yutam. The incident happened on Friday last week. The door and cash vault of the office was found broken. BDBL officials said the exact amount stolen will be known only next week. Another 200,000 yutam was recovered from the vault. The suspects are still at large. Favoritism, a form of corruption, is the key issue in the human resource management processes in the civil service today. It has a huge influence in selecting candidates for trainings and transfers. These were the findings from the research conducted by Anti-Corruption Commission, Royal Institute of Management, Royal University of Bhutan and Audencia School of Management in France. The research report was launched on Wednesday.
The research says favoritism has adverse effects on meritocracy and performance.
The research did not find corruption in the form of bribery per se, because this is one of the most alleged corruption that ACC receives, but fortunately civil service this was not found to be true. Rather, the research reveals that corruption in the form of favoritism as a key issue regarding the HR processes in the civil service. And I think we all know why this particular factor comes in, because of the nature of our culture.
It pains us when we open the crucible and see civil servants who are in problem. What we realize is in many cases people have fallen foul of the system because the system has been designed poorly, and I think in terms of the study that you've conducted, I see a way to deal with that kind of problem by making changes to the system and thus reducing at least corrupt practices due to the design of system.
Developing a policy for effective communication and coordination among the agencies was one of the recommendations. The research also recommends including a section on management of conflict of interest in the Bhutan Civil Service Rules and amendment of current conflict of interest declaration forms. Sonam Penjo, BBS News.
Beginning Saturday last week, the erstwhile Business Opportunity and Information Center has started functioning as a newly formed state-owned enterprise, Rural Enterprise Development Corporation Limited. Prime Minister Sring Tobgye inaugurated this new venture in Thimphu.
Prime Minister Sring Tobgye said the new state-owned enterprise will keep the success of BOIC alive. Its services will focus especially on women entrepreneurs, fresh university graduates, and people in rural areas.
We will look at the possibilities. I have already requested the Royal Monetary Authority to look into that. The possibilities of transferring some of the liquidity that has been injected, especially the banks don't require them, to the newly formed RATC. If this is possible, we will submit it in due time to the Parliament for approval.
The Rural Enterprise Development Corporation Limited will provide service under Revolving Fund 2 of the Economic Stimulus Plan. The corporation is mandated to provide microfinance services within the limit of 100,000 yutam per activity at an interest rate of 4% annually. The service for activities of Revolving Fund 1 for cottage and small industries will be provided through a special window created under the Bhutan Development Bank Limited. It will also provide financing at 4% annually up to a maximum limit of 8 million yutam per project. Tamchuzam, BBS News.
Health Ministry says Although Bhutan has eliminated leprosy from the country, it is yet to eradicate the disease. According to World Health Organization, a disease is declared as eliminated if the prevalence is less than 1 person per 10,000 population. Today, the prevalence rate of leprosy in Bhutan is 0.29.
The Gidakom hospital saw 7 new cases of leprosy this year, but records with Health Ministry show a decline in the trend of leprosy. From 21 cases in 2013, the number reduced to 14 cases today. Gidakom Hospital serves as a national leprosy and rehabilitation center.
We could eliminate, because of the high political commitment, Chidi mostly it was through the very consistent and support that we received from our great grandmother Aji Kesang Children Wangchuk, and following that we received continued support from Aji Kesang Wangchuk. I think because of that we could really eliminate around 90s, 95, 90s, around that. We have started on the multi-drug therapy regimen, and because of that, that has produced a very dramatic result of elimination.
But it will take time to eradicate the disease since the incubation period is long. Symptoms can take as long as 20 years to appear.
But the nature of leprosy is such that, it has a long incubation period. If one person, if you get leprosy at this point of time, it is a result of about 9 to 10 years ago. You are infected in 9 to 10 years ago. And then some of these cases emerge from that point of view.
Health officials say leprosy is a contagious disease caused by bacteria called Mycobacterium leprae. The main symptoms include red patches on skin with impaired sensation to heat and cold, and painless ulcers on hands and feet. But the disease is curable. Compiled for Sonam Sringzam, BBS News.
The youth unemployment rate has increased to 10.7% compared to 9.4% in 2014 as per 13th National Labour Force Survey Report 2015. The Labour Ministry conducted the survey 5 months ago.
The survey report was launched today in the capital. Despite increase in the youth unemployment rate, the male youth unemployment rate has decreased by 0.4% from 8.6% in 2014. However, the female youth unemployment rate has increased to 12.7% from 10% in a year. Labour Minister Nyuma Sangye Chempo says the increase in youth unemployment rate is due to mismatch between the qualification and the available jobs in the market.
Most of the work that we have is in the construction sector, in the tourism sector, and mostly it involves a lot of physical work, and women they don't tend to join construction and tourism agencies, and also women prefer to work more in childcare, family-oriented businesses. We have taken several measures to tackle women unemployment in the country, and if we look at the statistics, almost 70% of the women they are given opportunities in employment. There are several training programs geared towards employment of the women today. In the hospitality, we are putting more women. In the tourism sector,
the minister said government drew up the Education Blueprint 2014 to 2024 to reform the education system and to combat the mismatch between qualification and jobs available in the market. The reform is intended to produce a pool of skilled youth. The ministry is also starting micro-businesses such as floriculture to employ more women. The minister added almost all the skills development programs the ministry initiated are targeting women to reduce female youth unemployment rate. He said 70% of the Overseas Employment Scheme beneficiaries are women. So far, over 1,400 job seekers have been sent for overseas employment. Kipchu and Tamchuzam for BBS News.
Bhutan and 10 other Southeast Asian countries have officially eliminated maternal and neonatal tetanus so far. Bhutan eliminated the disease 20 years ago. Health officials say improved health facility and mass immunization helped to eliminate the disease.
After eliminating maternal and neonatal tetanus in 1995, Health Ministry recorded only a single neonatal case in 2006. The neonate acquired the disease as the baby was born in a cowshed. After that, there is no reported case till date. Health officials said the elimination was possible due to 80% of institutional delivery and maximum coverage of immunization. Pregnant women are immunized against the tetanus toxoid vaccine.
During the time of pregnancy, mothers should take the TT vaccine as per the schedule. Then second one is the health facility-based delivery, that is in BHU and hospital. And these two are the very important component. And even if they deliver at home, I think they have to take very precaution during the time of delivery, especially when they cut the newborn baby coat and if they have no sterilized equipment, and there is a risk for getting the neonatal tetanus that time.
The disease causes painful tightening of muscles. It is caused by Clostridium tetani bacteria, which is commonly found in soil, cow dung, and rusted knife. A press release from the World Health Organization says, after a team of experts validated the remaining provinces of Indonesia last week, the 11 Southeast Asian countries eliminated maternal and neonatal tetanus. Sringzam, BBS News.
Bhutanese women are being trained to create 40 different colors of yarn using different kinds of leaves, vegetables and minerals in the country. With such training, weavers in the country can choose to buy only the white colored yarn from India. Currently, many weavers buy yarns which are dyed mostly in India.
Conventionally, Bhutanese dyers used to produce only basic colors from different leaves. But now, using 4 minerals such as zinc, alum, ferrous and lime water, they can create over 40 shades of secondary colors.
With 4 modern colors like ferrous, zinc, alum and lime water, we can create various colors of yarn. For example, this has been boiled in onion skin and soaked in alum water, and we get this color. This one is soaked in zinc water and in ferrous water. We get this green color. This one is from lime water.
She added that the colors of naturally dyed yarn last longer than the imported colored yarn. Officials from the Agency for Promotion of Indigenous Crafts say the natural dye product have passed the standard of the Muji, a Japanese retail company.
So one of the things that we've been able to do is with UNDP, they've brought a company called Muji on board, and we've been trying to meet their standards and send samples. The first round of samples, half of our samples failed their test because they have very high standards, and the second round we were able to meet their standards. So we're working on marketing our products to them, and they're very interested in our nettle products, which are natural dye nettle products, which are 100% made in Bhutan.
She said with varieties of colors emerging and quality improving, the market for natural dye products from Bhutan is likely to improve. Agency for Promotion of Indigenous Crafts is training women on natural dye around the country. Sangichizum for BBS News.
Students at Wanaka Central School in Poro have been benefiting immensely from the food processing unit that was started under the school agriculture program. The program was developed in 2012 with funds from Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn of Thailand.
It is club activity period for the students in Wanaka Central School. The girls are making potato chips and drying vegetables. Every Wednesday, 15 girls gather at the food processing unit. It is called Sirinthorn Club, named after the Thai princess. Potato chips, dried fruits, vegetables and pickles. Everything is made here by the students.
Most of the things we used to sell, and through the profit that we get, it again goes back to the school kitchen to supplement the children food, and some amount we use to buy the utensil that is required in the unit lab.
There is no boarding facility here, but the school provides meals to some 400 students. The school also saw improvement in health of the students with low weight for age category. Besides, the unit also contributed to skill development.
Since we make potato chips here, we don't have to import. Also in the future, if we are unemployed, then the experience from the club can help us start our own enterprise. That way we can earn and be independent.
Potato chips so be te ngachiri enterprise the open baby te ngachiri rango rantu be dusinimela.
And the very aim of the establishment of the unit is to achieve sustainable school meals and to promote entrepreneurship. The greenhouse, the agricultural field, and clinic at the school are all funded by the Thai princess. Kilyangden for BBS News.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. Thank you for joining us. This is Sunam Pim saying goodbye.